Bow.
Do we have to do Roomtown?
No.
Okay.
We already did it.
Okay. Great.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. Figure it out, knick-knack, okay?
Knick-knack?
Knick-knack, paddywhack.
Sorry.
Amen.
Sorry. Oh my God.
Oh, God, it's coming. The devil!
It's coming out. It's just crawling out of me.
Woo!
Sorry about it. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hi, friends. I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Tori.
And you are listening to
It's
Nothing.
It's Everything.
Okay, before we dive in, this is an old episode. We were young, we were innocent, and we thought we knew what we were doing.
Spoiler alert, didn't. But hey, we already talked about some of the stuff by this point, so it's not like we were totally clueless.
And we loved this episode too much not to release it.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the vintage chaos from the archives.
Ow, ow.
Pew, pew. Sick tits.
Sick tits.
Sick tatties.
Tatty McGaddies.
Hello.
Mic check stuff. Test 1, 2.
D.
Great. BD bong.
B.
D. Bong. Hi.
Hello.
Wait, did you see how long it's gonna?
It's me. It
Take
takes
it.
half an hour.
Sweet.
So we gotta
go.
talk about.
We gotta talk.
I'm gonna fuck it up.
We can't waste time. We can't sit on our laurels over here.
Laurel, I barely know. Wait, that didn't work.
Laurel?
Laurel.
I barely know her.
Fucking Laurel.
I'm doing that now.
Laurel, I don't know. It's all bad.
Laurel, I barely. There's no.
No, there's no good. There's no good.
There's no good. Our next door neighbors are moving out.
Oh.
And it's like an older couple. They were grandparents. I think he was like in his 90s. And so Nick has been like over there helping them with yard work and just like helping them with outdoor maintenance because,
He's nice.
And because the grandfather had a stroke at some point and like was not mobile. So Nick is like becoming increasingly Italian about it, like very protective of them.
Mm-hmm.
So then the grandmother had a fall.
Oh my God.
And she has glaucoma. She can't see very well. So the kids moved both of the parents into nursing homes. And Nick has like made it his responsibility to understand what's going on over there. So like as like they moved the grandparents out, the house is empty. They're like doing work on the outside. They tore down the porch a couple days ago. Somebody just came and removed their old car this morning. And he's just been like sitting at the window fuming. And he's like, what's going on? Where are they? Who's even taking care of them? Who's approving these decisions? He's just like fully inserted himself into their life. And I'm pretty sure that's why he was out in the backyard. He was
just so
like,
he can be a
watching
nosy neighbor.
yeah. Just like watching to see what's going on over there.
But they're gone.
They're gone.
So
yeah. He's Italian. What do you?
I'm Italian. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you know how Italian men are. So territorial.
Oh, look at the hummingbirds. There's 2 of them. And they had seated on that.
Playing with each other. Oh, hi, friend. I love how they're like playing tag.
I'm trying to see which one's me. That's me.
So many
I'm a
exciting
bottom.
things. You are a bottom.
I'm the bottom today. I'm going to be a power bottom. You're a power top. Which feels accurate because I feel like this topic is definitely in your upper echelon.
That I'm a power top? And you're a power bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the power.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're both powerful. But I'm like, I'm the foundations.
That's right. You sturdy.
Yeah. You sturdy. She's thick.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. What's our podcast name? Title?
Oh, yeah. This is, hi, everyone. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Friday. This is, I almost said Tuesday, and I was like, that can't be right. No,
Welcome to
way off.
Friday. And the podcast called It's Everything. Wait, did we switch it?
No,
we end on a positive.
We end on a positive.
Fuck. Okay. Hold on. Here we go.
Tori, what's our podcast called?
It's Nothing. It's Everything.
And why is that? Because it's
ain't
nothing.
Because ain't that the truth about literally everything. My name is Tori Sparrow.
I'm Kimberly McFerrin.
Welcome to Friday Brain.
So mushy. So soft and mushy. My brain feels so smooth today. That's one of Rosalind's favorite insults. Oh, you have a smooth brain. It's like so specific,
That's so specific.
so niche, but I love it.
But I'd also be like, I'm okay with that. You know?
I don't need ridges.
I don't need ridges and bumps. I'm good with a smooth brain today.
Sometimes I
She
want to.
glides.
She
She's
got a
God.
slick brain.
She's slick.
I
I have the
want to
thing.
have smooth brains days some days.
Well, how about this? How about we catch up? How was your life?
Oh, you know, insane.
Why insane?
Because kids and schools and work and marriage and house, like you're supposed to also, nobody tells you this when you buy a house. It's another child.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's a whole ass other child.
Well, especially if you like adopted an older one.
Yeah, we got a 1961 special.
Because my brother bought an older home and we bought fresh.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah,
fetus.
you guys still had a warranty on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Like we got to watch the neighborhood grow around us. We were one of the beginning houses. And so yeah, and I think it depends on who you are as a person, right? I am not a fixer upper kind of gal. Like give it to me, not broken, no mold or rats. Things like that, you know. Dilapidated roof. No. I'm not here for that. No. I'm already dilapidated enough. I don't need to take on the roof. So I was all about, but then, hearing my friends who buy homes that are just a little bit older, it's like, oh, she's crusty.
Yeah, she crusty. It's that lie. It's that lie that people tell you about fixer-uppers, right? Like, you can make it whatever you want it to be. It's like, it becomes your vision, which is true.
It's true, eventually.
And I fully bought in, hook, line, and sinker. I was like, I'm going to make it mine. I'm going to use my creative, blah, 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 which is true. And I love doing it. And I love envisioning and ideating. And I love, like, seeing my visions come to life. All that's really great. But, like, to what end? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I going to be creating visions and making them come to life forever? Because that sounds exhausting. And also, like, luckily, our roof, knock on wood, our roof is great.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have rats. We don't have mold. That was a big one for me. I was like, if there is a dark corner in a house, when we were looking at houses, I was like, if there's a dark corner that the sun doesn't touch, I don't want it. Because Seattle gets moldy.
Moldy, very moldy.
She damp.
And yeah, if you like live anywhere outside the city in a forest area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch out.
Even like
mold's coming for you.
We're at the top of the hill, right? Which is nice because we have far less like tree overhang to keep us in like the moisture. And also because we have these amazingly pain in my ass giant mid-century windows where we have the sun coming in all the time, which is so lovely. We don't have, I think, the same level of moisture, but like some of the houses that we would look at that were at the bottom of the hill or like down in the valley. Ooh.
Mold central.
Mold central.
Damp.
No thanks. No thanks.
Wet.
But you know, it's like, even considering all of those things, she's structurally sound, but you know, that bathroom hasn't been touched since 1961.
Come on, retro.
Come on. Like, you know, sooner or later.
I mean, yeah. Ours was built in 2016, 2017. And I'm even looking at the bathroom being like, we're old now. Like, we've moved into that.
Yeah.
I live in my parents' bathroom. That's what it feels like.
Because it's been the same way for so long?
Maybe, or just like because of where just interior design has already gone. Now we're old. Even though when we bought it, we were like the fresh, hot thing.
Yeah.
And now we're like Tuesday's leftovers.
Yeah, now we're like old ladies with tchotchkes.
That's what we should have named our podcast. Tchotchkes.
It does go up so much.
Life tchotchkes. Yeah.
That'd be a hard one to, how do you spell it? People would never be able to find it.
TCH
something. Ochki.
Botchki.
TCH.
Ochki.
Ochki.
So good. Amazing.
How's your life?
Life is great. We're on like week almost 6 of teacher training and people are learning and all the things are happening.
I love that. How are you week 6 already?
Time happens. Time, but I don't know because that's like almost halfway through
Time's a liar. Wait, when was that last weekend that
that you
I
did
did?
your yes. Yeah, that was a week ago. Almost to the day.
Yeah, time is not real.
Time is a construct. But but it's going really good. We get to learn about kleshas and mudras and chakras this
Ooh.
weekend in a more yin-y vibe. So, and I don't have to do it, which is excellent.
Isn't that nice when you can sit back and let someone else take the reins?
Yeah. Cuz like planning lectures is way harder than I thought it would be. Or not harder, but like more time consuming than I thought. Because even if you have a lecture and you're like, cool, 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 it's 5 hours, which already, why is any lecture 5 hours?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, that's, a few hours of planning and researching and making sure I know what the French I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's so much brain power. And then you have to do it. You basically do it twice,
You
right?
do it
Like you
twice.
plan it, you program it, you
Yeah.
do the research for it, you have your document,
Yeah.
which is like your guardrails, but then you go in and have to do it live, which is doing all that all over again, but also retaining enough in your head that you can like speak to it without
Not have
having
to
your
read it.
eyes
Yeah.
on a paper. Yeah.
And just kind of yes-anding all the things that are going to come up that you did not plan for.
Uh-huh.
Like having people be like, why are you asking that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know.
For fun?
Because I thought it was a good question. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, the live I also did it. It's been so long since I have taught pelvic floor to teachers
Mm-hmm.
rather than just to like a patient or a client. I didn't get through probably a third of my programming in the 5 hours that I had, and we still didn't even finish the last thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, when you are teaching to people who are also teachers and
Yeah.
who are there for the sake of learning so that
So
they
they
can
can
then
teach.
turn around
Yeah.
and teach, yeah, it's like a whole
It's
different
a whole different ballgame.
ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot cruise. There is no cruising through
No.
it.
No. Yeah, no. So that's been but it's been fun. And I like learning. So, that's been nice. But it is a lot. My brain has
Yeah.
been on probably just overdrive, which in its own way has been really cool to see like the amount that I don't challenge my brain,
Yeah.
like in my day to day. Um, which actually leading in segue
Yeah.
into our thing today.
Yeah, what happens when you push yourself? What happens when you
Believe in yourself.
believe in yourself?
Yeah. And you're like, I can do hard things. This is different though, actually, now that I'm thinking about. This is
It's
a
like
good person versus
it's like different but same, I think. Because like the whole reason that we
wait, before you go into that,
yeah,
should I read it?
yeah,
Um,
yes.
so that they know what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Okay, so from Lewis Howes,
Yeah.
that's how we say it, Lewis Howes. I came across a quote that said, my life got better when I realized I didn't have to be nice. Nice got me used, stressed out, and disrespected. I'm not nice. I'm a good person. There's a difference. You don't have to be nice to be a good person. Being good means being honest, setting boundaries, and taking care of yourself without compromising your values. Being nice may give you temporary approval, but it rarely earns you respect or helps you build genuine connections. Honor your truth. You won't regret it. Lewis
Snaps.
Howes.
Snaps, snaps, snaps. But that also, I think, like, that ties into so many things, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, that is such a key element of self-doubt is
Wanting to be a good
being
person.
nice
Yeah.
in order to keep the peace at all times.
Yeah. People pleasing.
People pleasing. Yeah.
Which we've talked about. No one's heard it yet, but we have talked about
We've
it.
talked about it a lot. Some of it got deleted. Some of it
wasn't even recorded.
Some of it was never recorded. Some of it may never even air.
Yeah.
It might just sit there and collect dust. Who knows?
It's now our tchotchkes.
It's tchotchkes. Yeah. The self-doubt. The self-doubt that comes with always being the nice person so that you never ruffle feathers, right? Because you doubt that you have the ability, the what's the word I'm looking for? Not integrity, but like the oh my God, I can't think of the word. But like you doubt that you have the safety to be able to be anything other than nice, right? Or to
Yeah.
be able to ruffle feathers and know that it's okay. And so then that just like perpetuates a cycle of self-doubt and or like underutilization of self. Like you don't challenge yourself because challenge leads to friction and
Uh-huh.
friction and being
Feels bad
uh-huh, right.
and scary.
Yeah, and does not necessarily correlate with being nice or keeping the peace.
Yeah. Well, and setting boundaries, like that's the one of the things that stood out to me in that quote or in that post is like a good person is setting boundaries. Feels okay to set boundaries. You
Yeah.
can still set boundaries and be kind, right?
Yes.
That just because I'm like, no, I don't have the space for that in my life doesn't mean I hate you and you're not a value to me. You're still a value to me, but I also value my time
Yeah.
and my bandwidth. And I
100%.
think that we're taught that, yeah, if we say no, we're a bad person. And it's like, no, you can still be a good two things can exist at one time,
Yes.
which is such a motto in my last few years. It's like that can all be true. All of it can be true. I used to see in black and white where it's like that can't be true if that's true. And it's like, no, yes, it can. It all can be true.
That is like the stupidest and most relevant rule of life. Two things
Mhm.
can be true. Almost everything is a contradiction. We are walking contradictions all day, every day.
Mhm.
But we like to label things and put things in boxes because it makes us feel more comfortable. And if we label it one way, then we know how to deal with it. And so then we have
Mhm.
control. And so then we have predictability. And so then we can just like create, manipulate an
Mhm.
environment where it feels like we know how to manage everything. But also, something that I have had to like really reinforce with my kids and myself, to be
Mhm.
fair, being nice and being a kind person are not the same thing.
Yeah.
You
Well,
could
that's what I
be
was gonna ask. I was
really
like, what does nice even
Yeah,
mean?
you could be a really fucking terrible person and have the
Mhm.
ability to be nice. Every sociopath I've ever let light something in my life on fire has been really nice,
Yeah. They're nice.
but they're not kind or good people, but they have
Yeah.
the ability to be really
You can
nice.
fake nice.
You can fake nice all day long.
Everybody does,
It's true.
you know?
We all do it.
But I think there's the intention behind it is what makes you a good person,
Yeah.
right? You can be nice and say something that well, no. You can be now I'm getting all the words mixed up in my head. Everyone can fake being nice, but you
Yeah, and
can't
you can
fake being
also
a good person where that's like if nobody's looking, what's the decision you make,
right. And
right?
also, like, you can say really shitty things in a nice way that
Mhm.
doesn't make it good
Good.
or kind, right? The root is not in kindness. The root is not in goodness.
Mm-mm.
Nice is just like a presentation for people.
Yeah. I wonder what how you
And
get
some
there.
good people present as nice, right? And some
Yeah.
kind people present as nice, but like nice on its own, I feel like so especially as women, so
Mhm.
many women are taught just like be
Be nice.
nice. Yeah, be nice. How many times were you told that as a
Don't
kid?
I
Don't
mean,
be
I'm still
nice.
told that
Play
as an
nice.
adult.
Yeah. Be nice. Be nice
Just
to boys. Oh, just because they're not bullying you because they're being mean. They're just bullying with you because you or they're just bullying you because they like you
they
and they want
like
to flirt
you.
with you and they don't know how to do it. Just be nice to them. Mm,
That
mm,
sounds like a them problem.
mm.
Learn.
Yeah. How about they be
How
nice?
about they be
And I
nice?
just keep going about my business, not influencing them at all,
Yeah.
and they can figure their shit out.
We actually had a great conversation about this the other day in teacher training about friendships and how people will and maybe it's how people set boundaries, right? And they're just like, "Well, why aren't you doing this for me?" And
Mm,
like adult friendships like learning how to you want to be nice. You want to be you want to have friendships, you want to grow those friendships, but the second somebody's like setting boundaries, it feels like conflict.
yeah.
And like embracing that conflict and then getting to set your own boundaries. Be like, if you're going to change,
Yeah.
which is fine, we're all allowed to change. But if you're going to change in a way that no longer resonates with my life, then is it time to go our separate ways or can we still be friends? And like, how does that
Yeah,
work?
you can reconfigure the relationship at
Mm,
any time. I think too, I mean, like, this is also like bleeds into so many different parts of life. Any friendship,
Mm,
any relationship, any marriage
mm,
is really just a social contract, right? And
mhm.
like any other contract, you get together and renegotiate the terms when the circumstances around you change and the terms need renegotiating. But we as humans like things to be set, right? So like
Mhm.
you and I are friends.
Mhm.
We have been friends for
For 4 billion years.
oh my god, 13 years?
13? No?
Jesus.
Mm, maybe?
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around 13, 14.
But, like, the environments around us have changed over the past
Mm.
14 years, and so our friendship has changed over the past 14 years.
Mhm.
We also have changed fundamentally as people, which also has an impact on our friendship.
Yes.
So the terms of the social contract naturally change and evolve over time, but I think that part of why it has been smoother for us than maybe for other friendships is because we both are people who acknowledge that evolution is of high value.
Yes. Important. Very important.
And so, like, we have the ability, and I would say probably most of the time, it's an unspoken ability to be like, okay, you're evolving that way. I'm going to evolve this way.
Mm,
And like, we figure it out.
yeah.
Some people can't
Some people can't.
do that.
I have some friendships that, yeah, have been really tumultuous
Yeah.
when people change. And there's a lot of blame that's thrown around
Yeah.
of like, that's your fault and that's my fault and all that. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be, there shouldn't be any blame. Like, one, open communication. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
And know that it's okay to ebb and flow.
Yeah. And just because we're friends doesn't
Mm,
mean that every conversation we have has to either be nice
mhm.
or a friendship ending. Like, there is a
Yeah.
massive in between where we can have difficult but kind conversations
Mhm.
that are rooted in a true desire to get to a place of positivity, homeostasis, growth in the relationship, even if it's difficult, uncomfortable, tense, whatever. If it's still rooted in kindness
Mhm.
and mutual appreciation for one another, it
Yeah.
might not sound like a nice conversation, but it will get you to a place that is more sustainable for both people. And I think boundaries are the same, right? Like b- holding a boundary that allows you to live your life in a way that's sustainable is not necessarily like the opposite of kindness or the opposite of niceness,
Niceness.
niceties, right? Like it's not. I mean, Dot right now
Uh-huh.
in her 4 years on this planet,
Mhm.
the thing that I hear out of her mouth most often right now is that's not nice.
Oh, sure.
Which
Sawyer's like that. Mm.
which for a 4-year-old, right, makes sense. That's what they're learning. But like, I don't have to worry about if I have a friend who holds a boundary. There's no world where I would ever go up to that friend and be like, "That's not nice." That you held that boundary. That's
For
not nice that
yourself.
you did that for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make your life more sustainable and comfortable for you, which is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You should never put my comfort over yours. That would be insane. That would also be a very unhealthy friendship. But like there is just so much confusion. I feel like the lines are so blurred when we
Mhm.
talk about being nice. And if we're friends, we should be nice.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily agree with that.
No. No. I think one of my favorite things just gets me riled up, just turned on, is like a people pleaser who's setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I've seen it, I am not a people pleaser. I haven't been. Sometimes I wish I was. I feel like I'd probably do better in theater if I was more
Oh,
of a people
girl.
pleaser.
Tell me about
Um,
it.
but I think I have a happier life because I wasn't,
Yeah.
right? I have healthier priorities than if I was early 20s Tori and doing the yes game to every Tom, Dick, and Harry
Mhm.
in the world. If I was being nice, if I was just nice. and, uh, but man, now when I'm like a grown up, a grown up, and when that feels so strange to say that I'm a grown up.
We're middle-aged, babe.
Yeah. To see some of my friends who are people pleasers, or some family who are people pleasers,
Yeah.
and they start to set boundaries, learning in their middle age how to do that because it's never too late.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, I'm like the biggest cheerleader. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to have dinner with me? Love that for you. You
Yeah.
want to just sit at home and read a fucking book that would like feed your soul more
Yeah.
than putting out energy to me? Yes, please.
Yeah,
Please.
and, like, there does not have to be shame
I
attached to
don't think
it.
that's I understand being like, I'm not a nice person because I've changed the plans,
Yeah.
but I'm like, at the end of the day, if that's gonna make you a better person, I'm here to support that as your friend because I'm a kind person.
Yeah.
I want the best for my people.
And to be able to support your friends when they're advocating for themselves and what they
Come
need.
on, advocation. Is advocation a real word? It
Yes.
is now. Print it. Send it, print it.
Put it on the wall.
Put it on the
Make a
wall.
tchotchke.
Advocating for yourself. Turn on.
I mean, I think about, 20s Kimberly. Now, granted,
Oh.
life for her was real hard, and
Yeah.
I wrap her in my arms every time I think about her. But I my bandwidth was so low.
Mhm.
My stress was so chronic and so high and
Mhm.
so, like, life altering all the time. I was such a flake. I was a total flake. If I felt like I couldn't get out of bed,
Mhm.
rather than just being like, "I'm fucking drained, I can't hang out," I would always, like, come up with an excuse because I
Excuse, yeah.
thought that that was the right thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, "Oh, I can't 'cause Roslyn whatever," or, "Oh, I
Blame
can't
the
'cause"
kids.
right? But, I
Yeah,
mean,
easy.
listen,
Yeah.
easy, right? But, like, I always felt like I was being a bad person if I
Mm.
made a boundary for myself.
Yeah.
And, like, I look back at my life and how that bled into so many scenarios where, like, I fully welcomed in more stress and more trauma because I didn't have the ability to just say, "You know what? This isn't right for me right now in this
Mm.
moment, so I'm not gonna do it."
Mhm.
Ugh, poor girl.
Poor girl.
Poor girl.
But I mean, look at you now. Because without all that shenanigans, you wouldn't be the strong person you are.
Yeah.
The boundary holding, advocating
Hold it.
self
Yeah.
that you
Hold
are.
that
Yeah,
line.
you're like on Monday when we were supposed to get together and podcast, and we were both like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I
Can't
just
do
can't.
it.
I'm very tired. It's my
Yeah.
one day off, so like I need it.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny about just that moment? I was like nervous to send that text message to you. Now I know, like, if I could send that text message to anyone in the world, it would be you, and you'd be like, "It's fine, girl. Let's put on our soft socks and lay down."
Yeah.
You know, like, and
Let's get into
but yeah,
shavasana.
but like the fact that you were like, "I love that for both of us," made me like so happy because I don't want to be. I want to show up for my people
Yeah.
and for the things that I've agreed to do, um, but also take care of myself and all the selves that come with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the balance, I think,
Yeah.
right? Is like, you're not gonna do that every time.
No.
If you did do that every time, we probably at a certain point would have a different conversation.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna do that every time. You're gonna do it when you recognize that you need it.
Mhm.
And to me, that's just as valuable, if not more valuable, than being the person that holds every commitment for the sake of holding every commitment.
Mhm.
I think there is a lot of strength and value in being that kind of person.
Mhm.
I think there is a flip side to that, where if you are the person that holds every commitment you've ever made ever in your life for the sake of being a reliable and trustworthy and dependable person, I'm sure
It's Tori in her early 30s.
the flip side of that is real hard
Yeah.
because then you get deprioritized because you
Yeah.
are trying so hard to prioritize a perception of you
Mm.
that allows more value to other people than to yourself.
Man, that resonates deeply for my early 30s. Well, I mean, probably mid-20s but before like, I guess I've always taken on more than I can chew,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
I've always had a very full mouth, you know, like chokeable at sometimes. Um, and I've had to probably kids really challenge that
Mhm.
because then my priorities shifted, but my ability to say no did not.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to be a nice person, I wanted to be known as a nice, hardworking human being. I was draining my body
Mhm.
of absolutely everything. And I remember having a conversation with the husband and he was like, Tori, I was like, somebody had asked me to, I think it was sub probably a class or two on top of I had rehearsal or a show and I was like, should I do that? Like I can. And he's like, listen, energetically, I know you can.
Yeah.
Mentally, I know you can.
Uh-huh.
That's what he said. Mentally, I know you can. energetically, should you?
Ooh.
Because which I was just like, way to hold my feet to the fire, Patrick.
Come on,
Like, come
Patty.
on, Patty. Which I need that person, right? Because yes, I can always show up.
Mhm.
But do I have to? Just because we can doesn't mean we should, right? And so but I was like, but I can, like just so stubborn.
Mhm.
But that him like really like holding the mirror up and saying like, you don't, but should you?
Yeah.
For, because like think about yourself doing the show and you've taught all day. Like, are you respecting that Tori, that version of Tori? No.
Mhm, mm.
No. Like,
Uh-uh.
I'll finish the classes and be like, "I'm crushing it," but then, at nighttime, you're like, "I literally wanna die, I'm so tired."
Yeah.
Don't have to. It's okay to say no.
Don't have to. And it's okay to feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you are
There was no sometimes though, right?
right.
That's the thing is, like,
If you are living
there's
your
yeah.
life in a way that is just your day to day,
Uh-huh.
which yeah, I feel that. Ooh, I feel that so deeply.
Yeah. Because we are taught, and I think it's a generational thing. Actually, yet again, we talked about this in teacher training. It was, one of our older participants, one of my older trainees. She's I'm not sure. She's gotta be in her 60s, but same generation as my mother.
Mhm.
And my mother was like, "We gotta pack it in. Like,
Yeah.
we've gotta do, I've gotta prove
Yep.
that I can, that I am sustainable. I am my own woman. Can have a job, 2 kids.
I can have my own bank account.
I
I can
can."
have my own credit card.
Yeah, right. Like you can see the generational
Yeah.
stuff that's like trickling down.
Yeah.
And she and I had a conversation, I don't know, it had to be early postpartum, where it was like, "I'm so sorry that I trained you." That was the example you saw. Was like, and she never said no to something, right? She was like, always, "Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes, I can." I mean, there's some people pleasing in there with my mom, but which I love, but also it's really hard because I'm like, you don't have to though.
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, what if they think this?" I'm like, "Who cares? That sounds
Who
like a them
cares?
problem."
Who cares what they think?
Yeah,
What other people think of you is
it's
none
none
of
of
your
my business.
business.
It's not my business. And but there was this woman in teacher training said that. She was like, "I had learned very late in life that I didn't always have to be busy because then because I was trying to like please people and be nice."
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that maybe this generation we're starting to learn a little bit more. The next generation. I mean, we still have the right. No.
We also have like the gold star trauma. We have to unlearn the
Mhm.
like more gold stars, more
More gold
AP
star.
classes, more talented and gifted, more extracurriculars. How many extracurriculars can you have on your college resume?
Oh
Oh,
my
you've
god.
only volunteered 7 times in your life. You've got to do more if you want to get to college, right? Like
Mhm.
we were raised
Yeah.
that more is more.
Yeah. Drill
And
team at 5 o'clock in the morning.
yep.
High school all day.
Mhm.
Shows at nighttime.
Mhm.
And I was
And then shit on the
14,
weekends too,
15.
right?
Oh
Like
my
every
god.
weekend you have a commitment. There's
Yeah.
something different.
Or
And if you
sports,
have
yeah.
shows, yeah, or and if you have shows, well, they're not until the night. So what else you can do during the
That's
day?
what I would go,
Yeah.
yes, I would do drill team, school, softball, shows.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who? And that's just the cycle that continued up until my 30s, until I had kids. And then I had this priority shift and that conversation of like, no.
Yeah.
The priority shift of no.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, I can't. I can't.
Also, there's nothing wrong with with nothing to do. There's nothing wrong with
Ugh.
nothing to do. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with downtime or quiet time to yourself. And I feel like
Mhm.
that's something I fully took advantage of before I had kids. I
Mm.
was like, "Ooh, I gotta pencil it, squeeze it in. What else can
Yeah.
I put on my calendar? How else can I be social? How else?" And also, like, my cup is filled a lot of the time by
Yeah.
being around people. And so, like, to me, I just went fully in that direction where I was
Mm.
like, fill the cup, fill the cup, fill the cup,
Yep.
to the point that it wasn't filling my cup, but
It
I
was
was
draining
like,
your
it
cup.
was draining my cup.
Yeah.
But
You're
I was
empty.
like, look at how amazing I
Mm.
was. I did brunch on the Upper West Side, and then I did happy hour in the East Village, and then I did dinner in Brooklyn. I'm so fucking amazing. And I live in Jersey City. Look at all the cool things that I did
Come on,
in one
Subways.
day. I covered the whole ass city. But like, why?
But
Why do
why?
I have 3 social commitments on my 1 day off?
Oh.
Why?
Now, like almost 40-year-olds,
Ooh.
can you like look back and be like, "Wha-"
Bitch, what?
I want to sit down.
Yeah. I want to go back to her. I'm going to ride the subway from end to end. I'm going to start in Queens and I'm going to end up in Brooklyn and I'm not getting off the fucking train. I'm going to sit there, do nothing.
Yeah. Retraining, rewiring the brain to enjoy stillness is really hard. I mean, that's what I'll say in like Shavasana, where it's like you're literally training, rewiring your brain to enjoy stillness.
Yeah, which we don't do.
Which we don't know how to do. Like, especially our generation. It's like we don't know how to stop. It's like, okay, when I am sitting, but I should like probably be reading.
Yeah.
Or I should probably be learning how to knit. You know, like I should be
I
whittling.
don't have enough special skills on my resume.
Like I have to do some underwater basket weaving.
You know, work on my bird calls.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
Why? Why can't I just sit? And then you add in like a phone, right? A phone where you disassociate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just heard this incredible study that was done with your phones where you can put on like a grayscale.
I just saw that.
Yes.
And
Mel
then
Robbins?
yes.
Uh-huh.
I gotta do it.
I want to figure out how. She like did a very fast how to, and I was like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the bandwidth for that. But to see if that really does make a difference.
I'm sure. Can you
Because
imagine
it's a waste of
scrolling
time.
Instagram and everything's just in black and white?
Boring.
Come on.
I think it's so cool. I think just
It's literally the concept
cool.
of what was that movie? Pleasantville.
Oh. Yeah, it was a good movie.
It's reverse Pleasantville.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Contain it. Reel it back.
Reel it back. 50. I think I was listening to one of her podcasts and she said 59 hours a week. That's more than our full-time jobs.
No.
That we spent on our phones.
No.
And it's too much.
I guess
like think about 59 hours. What could you do with 59 hours?
Yeah.
Whether you're kind or nice.
Yeah.
think of what you could do with 59 hours.
And it's so easy too. It just becomes this like constant cycle that you get sucked into where like I look at my screen, I get the screen time notification every week. You averaged this X amount of hours of screen time per day last week. Last week, I think I averaged like 4 hours of screen time a day. Now, granted, some of that is like me working when I'm away from my computer.
Yeah.
Some of that is me doing household related work like grocery lists. And but also, let me tell you, deleting or canceling our Prime membership, which we just did, already has changed the amount of time that I spend on my phone.
Really?
Because it's so fucking easy, especially here when you can get things delivered to you within like
a day of
2 hours.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be like, oh, I just need this really quickly. Let me just grab it. And then suddenly I'm doing that multiple times a day for things I don't actually need. Like, do the girls need Bluey and Bingo headbands? Sure, it's cute. But like, do they need it?
No.
Did I buy it for no reason because it was at the tip of my fingers and it could get here in 2 hours?
Yeah.
Like, that shit's so unnecessary. And then also, it just completely changes our spending habits.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything is so accessible.
The trickle-down effect. Yeah.
Hot mess. Hot mess.
Hot mess.
And what could I do even with that 4 hours a day?
And I think
or whatever it is after work and all
yeah,
the
but
other
I mean,
things,
like
right?
I mean, even that, then there's a fine balance, right? Do you fill it? Or do you
meditate
or, garden?
'Tis the season.
Because some of that freedom will cause people anxiety, right? I also, I can't remember the doctor who created the thesis, but saying that creativity kind of offsets anxiety, right? When you start to have anxiety, if you can give yourself a goal, if you can give yourself a task, it's like a dog and a ball, right? Like you throw the ball and the dog's like, I don't care what else happens. I have to get the ball.
Yeah.
And our brains are similar to that, where it's like, if you can have some kind of creative outlet, whatever that might be, right? Maybe that's your underwater basket weaving. Maybe that's learning to knit, whatever it is. But like when you have that, if you have the time and that time gives you anxiety, it's like, well, then fill it with something that like fills your soul.
Yeah. Or just gives you the opportunity. Like for me, gardening is 100% meditative. It is, I'm like working towards something.
Yes.
I hate
taking
gardening, but care of something.
Yes.
I'm also like creating something that my family can benefit from. And then on top of all of that, it's like silent time. I'm not speaking. I'm not looking at a screen. I'm not engaging with a child. I'm
Usually
not.
outside.
Yeah, usually
Yeah.
outside. The sun is usually shining. I don't garden in the rain.
No,
Don't do that.
we're not those people.
So there's fresh air, there's blue skies,
Yeah.
there's vitamin D.
Yeah.
And I am completely focused without a fucking screen in my face.
Yes.
Uninterrupted.
Mhm.
Just like spending time with myself in my head.
Yeah.
But like doing something with my hands so that I'm just like processing information as I'm working on something. And
Mhm.
I like when I winterize my garden and basically like go indoors for the winter, I get anxiety because I'm like, well, what now? What
Ooh, now what am I
now
gonna
what am I gonna do?
do?
Scroll on my phone, I guess. Like
Get
it's,
some indoor plants.
I mean,
Oh, they're everywhere.
they're everywhere.
I have ones from IKEA, but that's how I inside garden.
Listen, but you have them.
Yes, they're there.
They're there.
They're there. Doing not a lot for me, but I did just buy a bird feeder. I was like, oh my God, I am the old woman from Mary Poppins. But like there was something that really made me happy about it. I had to like go get food. I went to a bird store.
Yeah,
You know?
bird store. You went to the Audubon Society.
And like I was like, I don't know. It was funny because I walked in and she's like, well, what kind of feeder do you have? I was like, I don't know.
One for
Sir,
birds?
It's one for birds and it goes outside. And she's like, okay, is it tall? Is it circular? Like, what's the deal? And I was like, it's circular. It has a hood, like a roof. And she's like, great. Do you know what kind of birds? I was like, no, babe. They're small. I literally was
ones
like,
with wings.
yeah, I was like, they're small. She's like, okay. And it's like, obviously, look at me. Like I was just there because the UPS store was right next door, and I had to go change my passport. So
You didn't walk in with your zip off shorts,
Oh,
your zip off
I had
REI
those,
shorts,
though.
and your
like
of
14-year-old
course.
Tori,
Heck yeah.
cargo zip off shorts, trash. Did
Yeah.
I think I was an outdoorsman? Like, why did I have those, Mom?
Yeah. Oh, I had the 3-tier ones too, where you could make it like a culotte,
Ooh.
like you could zip it off at the knee,
Uh-huh.
or you could zip it off to like a higher short. Oh,
Oh no, I didn't, because I was like,
Not
can't show
cute.
my thigh. That's embarrassing.
couldn't possibly.
I have big thighs, so I never wore shorts.
You have to be demure.
Yep, and skinny.
Ugh,
Yep.
gross.
Gams. I want gams. That's a whole different podcast
It sure is.
episode.
Those
The body shame.
the body shame, the like 40-inch legs. If your legs aren't 40 inches, are you even a person?
Oh.
Should you even go out in public? I feel like that was our, like every runway model that's like 6 feet tall, and yeah,
Mhm.
that's a whole other
Yeah.
episode.
That's a whole other episode.
I'm sure we'll get into it at some point.
Oh, 100%, because so much is paced around that.
Yeah.
It's so deep seated.
But it's the same message, right? Like our value exists in what we look like, how we present ourselves to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Am I being nice to you?
There we go.
And if I'm being nice to you, then do I have enough value to be accepted in society as a person who is allowed to be acknowledged and interacted with? And then the layer for women too, the unnecessary apologizing in order to be perceived as nice, the apologizing for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first moved to New York, where everyone runs into everyone because there's just not room, right? Like if on the West Coast, if you're walking down the sidewalk and you bump into somebody, you're like, what the fuck are you doing in my bubble?
Yeah.
Like I had a bubble and you had a bubble and our bubbles did not need to collide. Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? We also have giant sidewalks and
Yes.
nobody walks down the street.
No.
But in New York, small sidewalks, lots of people,
Mhm.
lots of traffic. You run into people all day long.
Mm.
I so vividly remember it the first time I ran into a woman, and rather than apologizing, she said, "Excuse me." And I was like, oh, what a genius. Because she didn't do anything wrong.
No.
But that's what I would do. I would run into someone and be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And also, like in New York, nobody takes this time to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." It's
Yeah.
too many words.
It's too many.
You're already half a block away.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Excuse me is the most you can get
Yeah,
out.
excuse me.
While you're like in relative distance to the other
Mhm.
person. But also, you don't need to apologize for doing something like accidentally running into a person.
Yeah.
In that kind of scenario, right? But I just remember it was like transformational for me
Mm.
that you could make a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
and then say, "Oh, excuse me,"
Yeah.
and then move on with your day.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh," I just remember it was like it just completely changed the way that I perceived everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I have to do that." And then putting it into practice was like a whole
That's the thing is
different.
like that might seem really silly and silly to some people being like, "Oh my God, really?" Like
Yeah.
that's who cares if you say sorry? And it's like, but that's the practice.
Yeah.
Right? That's the practical practice that we're doing every day to retrain our brains,
Mhm.
especially yes as women. We talk about that in class where it's like, I don't want you to continuously, if you make a mistake, you don't have to apologize for it because guess what? It's going to keep happening. If
Yeah.
you break someone's leg, sure, apologize for that.
Yeah.
But if you said, right leg high instead of left leg high, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And the trickle down effect for students hearing constant apology
Mhm.
also is not great. Right. And so, but like stand in your power.
And
And
also, how different is it to hear, "Lift your right leg." "Oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry." "Lift your left leg." Versus, "Lift your right leg." "Oh, excuse me. Lift your left leg."
yeah.
Like, you almost take away from the practice by
Mhm.
taking the time and the energy and the diversion of attention to apologize for something.
Mm-hmm. And if we really want to go crazy with the yogic, it's stealing.
It it's
You're
self-serving,
it's
right?
self-serving, it's
Yeah.
selfish. And so let's not. Let's just
Let's
not.
not. You know
Let's
what?
not.
If I break your leg, I'll apologize.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I think that that is the I don't know where it starts other than, you know, we're women and that's where it starts and we're made to be like, I have to be nice and therefore I have to apologize for existing.
Yeah.
And those little tools and tips and tricks from saying I'm sorry to excuse me, I think that's the way to do it.
I mean, watch how it changes your life.
Yeah.
I dare you.
I dare you.
I
I
dare
dare
you.
you. And I dare you to put your phone down. Learn underwater basket weaving and tag us.
Please. And then say, "Excuse me."
It's like, excuse me, or rather.
I'm always
I love a
amazed.
rather.
Do you have this experience? I love rather as
Yeah.
well. Do you have this experience in class where someone will raise a hand or go to say something, and before they actually say what they want to say, they start by saying, "I'm sorry"?
I
Oop.
Hmm.
She triggered.
It makes me angry.
Yeah.
Women who every time they raise their hand, I'm sorry. I'm like, why are you sorry? You haven't even said anything.
Yeah.
You haven't offended anybody.
You're sorry for
So
raising your
you're
hand?
sorry for existing? And it's a people-pleasing, smaller than anything vibe in a
Mhm.
person. And because I love like the underdogs of the world. I am your biggest champion, but you got to do the work. You got to do the heavy lifting, and I will be there to support you of like taking on the tools.
Yeah. Stand in your power.
Stand in your power.
Stand.
Take up the fucking space, please, and thank you.
Yeah, because this is your life. I'm not. If I'm gonna take a
Yogurt teaching?
a yoga teacher training, I'm not taking it for someone else. I'm
Mm.
taking it for myself. So I'm gonna show up every day, getting the most out of it that I possibly can
Mm-hmm.
for myself.
Yeah.
And if I become that perceived pain in the ass teacher's pet student that's like asking questions every 5 minutes, first of all, I'm getting what I need out of it. And second of all, what everyone else thinks of me is none of my business. And third of
Mhm.
all, if me being perceived as the teacher's pet means that I get what I deserve to get out of this
What
thing
you
that
paid for?
I'm paying for
Yeah,
and
you're
devoting my
paying.
time to,
Yeah.
devoting hours every week.
200 plus, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to get exactly what I need out of it so that
Mhm.
I can maximize first of all, maximize my investment
Yeah.
and then maximize my output
Mhm.
that comes from that investment.
Yeah.
Like, why would I invest and then commit half-assed to it?
Mhm.
Because
Because I'm trying to be nice.
right.
Just because you're trying to be nice and not take anybody's time.
No.
So
No more.
that's my biggest goal is like a personal goal of mine in my job is if I can empower women specifically, but also men, but like it's
Yeah.
it's 100% women in this round of teacher training. Like if I can empower you to stand firm, that's my biggest goal. If I can help give you tools to believe in yourself out in the world, I will be happy. You might not even be able to teach yoga, but no, you will. They will. But I think that that's where we make the society a better place. Is like if you can be a better person and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Stop being so nice. Be kind. But you don't have to be nice.
You don't have to be nice.
No. You don't have to be mean either, right? But like
yeah, you don't have to be nice. You can be kind and you can ask for exactly what you need. And it doesn't make you too much. It is like you standing in your power, right? And advocating for yourself. It is you holding a boundary for yourself. It is you not being a people pleaser and saying, I need to show up to every social commitment that I've ever made because I want to be perceived as the person who's reliable and nice and kind or what, not, right. Yes, kind, not nice. Right? But saying this is exactly what I need for myself. And therefore my words and my actions are going to replicate that. And that's not to say to be selfish, right? Like you still exist in a world with other people. But that's where the duality comes in. Two things can be true. I can make decisions that prioritize me and also acknowledge that me prioritizing myself and considering the environment around me is also what's best for everybody else. If I'm making decisions for other people, that's me making decisions based on assumptions. That's me assuming that I know what you want. And then like, that's just a whole clusterfuck of things that we don't need.
No, that's never really worked out for anybody.
No.
The assumption always usually like kicks it.
Yeah.
And makes it not kind. Right?
Not kind. Absolutely not kind.
Absolutely not kind.
This is something that Nick and I struggle with a lot, where he's like, oh, I want to do this for you because I think it's what you need. Like, you didn't ask me if this is what I need. And you making that decision without asking me actually removes my voice. It removes my ability to be an autonomous person because you've decided without my input what it is that you think I need and then made a decision, made an action based on that, rather than if your true aim in the moment is to serve my needs rather than understanding what they are so that you can serve them. That's rough. Just make decisions for yourself. You do you, boo.
You do you.
And don't be afraid to prioritize yourself and don't freaking apologize.
Yeah. Because you're never too much.
And you're always
enough. Yeah.
Every freaking day.
Yeah. Yeah. You're always enough and never too much.
Never. Blammo. But also like sit with that.
You have to believe it.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise it's fake.
Yeah. Otherwise it's just a tchotchke.
Yeah. And it's all fake. It's all fake news. Don't be the fake news in your own life.
Don't do it. We out.
Bye.
Bye.
Look at that.
Fucking nailed it.
Crushed it. That's how you podcast, everybody.
How you doing, bitches?
Oh, God. We did it. We did it. I was watching it the whole time. Oh my God. If that's all lost, then I will cry.